Good day. Today we're going to get into soldering a track at the lift bridge and do all the feeders solder on the inner loop and finish up the siding at the coal mine. So let's get at it. Okay, now this is the track at the bridge. This section and this section I had to glue down. And I got my note that I left a long time ago to make sure I put the feeders because I don't have no feeders here. So what I do is I already drill one hole, another one between the ties. Sorry about hitting the camera. Drill a hole through there. Red is on the outside, my positive. Wire I'm using on here for the feeders is a solid wire, 22 gauge. I use the solid wire for two things. I don't want the strands, having a little strand sticking up. Just one solid piece, it's easier to bend. Plus it's stiffer. And trying to feed it through down the hole, it's a lot easier. Alright, so now I'm going to bend it. Make it look like an L. See that? Move this up a little bit. Okay, see that? And then I bend it in. So I'm pushing the wire. Just before I do, I bend the wire this way. So as it goes down the hole, it wants to go in towards the track. And in this way, it stays in there a little bit better. A little bit of dirt. It lays on the track. And that groove a little bit. Take my soldering gun. Get the wire hot. Make sure the solder goes all the way around and on the track. And there you go. Not too much to it. Just when you get it, it's time consuming. I keep hitting the camera. Sorry about that. Line that down. Give it a little bend. Sit down on the track. Let the wire get hot. Now I know a lot of people, they don't like doing that. And I get the reason why. But sometimes when you put the solder, you might get a little bit up on the track a little bit. So I just like to try to go take a light file, just make sure everything's okay. I mean, you could take like a metal wash or something, rub over it just to varnish the little scratches, but don't really do much. I don't see it affect me any. But anyhow, that's how to do the feeder up here. The other thing I got to do is the new track that I glued down. I never soldered these. Same thing, I just set it down at one end. I get hot, take the solder, so I go on the edge of the slider, so I know the solder is going to get inside the slider and also on the outside, so I get a good connection. I only solder the outside of the rails. I don't do the inside because I don't want to have to be worrying about sanding or filing down so the track don't hit, so the wheels don't hit. And that's pretty much it. So I do all that. I got these here. Kind of get the idea. I'll do that, and then I'm going to take the camera down underneath and just show you how I hook it up to the bus lines, and we'll go from there. One thing I wanted to show you too. Anywhere where it's I have a lot of space I got to get down below, like on the HO, there was like 2 inches of foam or better. So what I do, instead of trying to get that wire down, after I drill a hole, take one of these stir straws, and I push that down till it comes through the bottom of the platform. Then I just feed the wire down through. Once I got the wire and I got a solder on here, then I just pull the straw off the wire and finish it up. So it just saves a lot of grief trying to get that wire down there, because it hits the foam and it's just a pain in the neck. But just want to show you that little trick that I do. It really works out well for me. All right, so I want to get this switch in so I can get everything done on the main part of the track, so I can get ready to paint everything. So what I did is, figured out where I wanted the track, lined up all the rails, and I marked both sides. Problem is, when it's like this, try to get the square end, nice square end on here. You're hitting the tie, and it wants to slide. You can't get in the mark that you want. So I took my little grinder thing here. I went down and grinded 2 marks. And then I took my rail clippers, and where I had it marked for the other end, I came back a little bit, made it a little bit longer, and cut it, just so I can get this off. And I just took my little scraper, got underneath there, and pried it up. It comes right off. That's one thing I like about the glue. A little scrape, a little sanding, and you're good. Then I set this up here, and I had to do a little grinding with this. Let it run it, and just put it on the edge and make it a little bit shorter until everything matches up. So nice and tight there. And my rails are lined up. So my original mark now, if I would have cut them before, I'd be really short. So now I had to remark them. And it'd be the same thing again. When I go to try to use the cutters, the rail's in my way, and the tie's in my way. So I need to remove that tie and this one, so I have some room for the slider. Now the problem is to try to get underneath there and cutting the little ends off so the tie will come off. This side has the space, but this one doesn't. So I came up with, seems to work halfway decent. I take one of my blades getting bad. I heat them up. It starts getting nice and red. And then I just stick underneath there and slide it in. it helps it cut a little bit better. I don't want to get too much. I only want to get these two ties off. I don't be lifting the whole thing up. Alright, so now I don't have nothing in my way. I can put the rail clippers in here, get them down nice and straight. And cut them. Let's see if we got to do any little adjustments here. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Gotta get that in there. Yeah. Alright, let's see what that does. It's a nice little tool. It's rechargeable. Just plug in, charge it up. Runs a pretty long time. If you're interested and you want to know, put a comment down below that you would like to know about this, and I'll get you the information to you. Alright. That one's good. That one could do a little bit more. It's just a little bit more, so I'm not going to be fighting it. Of course, this isn't the best place to be working with this one. It's got everything in the way. Okay, alright, I think we might be alright. Alright, the only thing I have to do though, I gotta be able to slide that in. I don't know if I'll have enough there or not. No. Alright. So I gotta take another tie off. I gotta get this joiner slid all the way in. So I better drop that down. So we gotta do it one more time. too cold on me. Too cold. This blade's back on ready to break. Alright, let me file these down. Do my little edges. I don't have to have square edges on there to hit the wheels. One. Should work. Alright, put a little glue on here. Keep away from that throw. Alright. Get the slider centered in. That's good. Now comes the fun part. There we go. Very good. Let that dry. I just put a little piece off here, and I'll be able to sand all that. Okay, looking good. All right, sorry for it's really tight quarters in here. I don't know how good this is going to be, but anyhow, these like suitcase connectors. I got the screwdriver because I got it open so it's open. So how it works is I put the wire on here. Get that out. It's always the way you get one of those ones that's no good and it breaks. Never does it when you're not on the camera. So now we'll try that again. And the wire snaps in the first one. And you take your lead, make sure I'm on outside. And this slides in the top there. I make sure it comes out the other side, so I make sure I'm getting it clipped on there. Take my pliers, and you can see it, and just squeeze that metal plate down, and that cuts into the wire, cuts into both of them, and makes contact. Sometime on heavier wire, I've had problems where it didn't really go through. I used this all in the HO. I must have done 100 or better of these things. I think only 1 or 2 times I had one that didn't make contact. Then you just snap that on and that's it. You can always take this out, spread it, take this all off, so it's not soldered if you got to move it, if you got a problem with something. So that's what I like about them. And that's it. So then I'll do the ground on this one and then the inner one, and it's hooked up to the bus wires. All right, so once I get this done, then I got to move over and we got to run the new bus wire for the 4th zone of the track. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, got a little update on the building projects here. This is the next one I'm going to start building. This is a little bit more complex, a little bit, you know. And the directions. So a little bit more pieces than the other one's basic than just 4 walls. This one's got a little bit more to it. There's one of their finished ones what it's supposed to look like. So I got this fancy hip roof I'm gonna have to work on. So that's be interesting. Got a lot of nice detailed parts. And all our different wood stock trim and reinforcement pieces. And this is all our panels. I'll get more into this one. I'll show a little bit more of this one when I get into it. Roof and basic windows, glass. Oh, they even gave us a little sticker or sign thing here. American flag. That's cool. So this will be the next one I'll be working on. I got a couple more buildings I ordered are coming in. I got a Bars Mill one I'm going to be working on. Anyhow, That's the first building that we're working on, so that's where we're at with this right now. Of course, it's not weather or anything. I didn't weather any of them. And then this was the next one I did. This was a 2-building set. I haven't glued any of the buildings down because I don't know how they're going to go. I didn't put no pilings because this might be more up on the ground. Same thing with this. I don't know where I'm going to go with it and what kind of lighting I'm going to put on it yet. Like I said, none of them have been weathered yet. So that's those two. And then I got this one here. I'm waiting. I ordered metal roofing. Well, simulated. It looks like metal roofing. Because I don't like having all the same thing. I don't want all tar paper or cedar shingles. So I'm waiting for that to come in. And I can build the roof the same thing. I don't know which way I'm going to put this, so I didn't put the garage doors on, and what kind of lighting I'm going to put in it yet. So that's where that one's at. That's where we're going to stand still with that. And then this is the last one I just did finished up yesterday. Same thing, it's not weathered, you know, and I ordered some signage, so I'm waiting for that to come in. I don't want to be putting the powder and stuff on it and the pastels until I put the signage on it, whatever I'm going to do. So this one had a little styrofoam foam board, and then you're supposed to scribe it to make whatever you want, block, or I wanted to try to make this look like more like rough stone, Jersey sandstone, that type of deal. So still got to weather it and dress it up and all, but this one already got the wires in, or lighting in, as you can see. So that's where I'm at with that. I just wanted to give you a little update, and we'll go from there. All right, here in the back shop, back in the workshop, I got that last zone that I finished gluing the tracker on. Now I have to run the bus wire for it. So that's what this is. It's a 14 gauge stranded wire. And when I first started doing this HO, I seen where a lot of the pros said you should twist the wire. Something about the noise or something. So anyhow, quite a few people said that's what they do. So I figured, well, can't hurt. Some people put in a drill and run it, but I'm afraid of maybe doing it too tight, maybe splitting the wire. So I just do it this way. Give it some twist. Doesn't take that long. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll get ready to put it on the layout. All right, so I have all my wire. I got it all twisted up, and I put it through and hooked it up to my PM74. So now we're going to go underneath there. So give me a minute to set up the camera and crawl underneath this layout. All right, I'm underneath. So I ran the wire. It's the wire from the PM74. My original plan was to just run this line all the way down the middle and then have the feeders come into it. But it would be long, the feeds would be way longer than 12 inches. I don't like to go 12 inches. I like to keep it 10 inches or under, shorter. So the 14 gauge wire I had enough to go all the way down the middle, but not enough to loop around. So I came up with just putting a splitter here, and I took one section and run one side, and then the other one runs around and comes here. So now the feeders won't be that long, and that'll be a lot better. So that's where I'm at. So now I can start on the top, soldering the feeder wires on the track and pushing them down, and then I got to hook them up. And this is some of the other stuff. There's some of the switches, the tortoise switches. I got probably about another maybe 5, 7 or so I have to install. We'll do some of that on some of the other videos. You see there's some over there. A little bit of a mess under here, but alright, so that's what we got on this. Okay, I got all the holes drilled and the all the straws in. Got the wires down. Got all them. So now I got to solder all the wires to the track and then hook them up to the, then go down below and hook them up to the bus lines. So I'm going to get started on soldering them up. All right, last one. Long day. One more. It's not bad doing this, just monotonous. Just imagine those basement empires soldering all that track up. Whew. Alrighty. Okay, that'll do it for the feeders for here. So now I'll be getting ready to run it and see how it works. All right, let's go to the next phase. Yeah, one thing I want to show you too. This switches here and here. What I did is when I was setting up, laying the track, and once I had everything where it was at, and it was all pinned down, I soldered the switches and this mid one here and this here, so it was one section of track and it was all soldered. Then I picked it up, marked it out where the road bed was going to be. Then I picked it up and did it. So now that I have this here is the third zone, and this one here is the one we just soldered, the fourth zone. Now when I soldered this all together, I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not, right in here, this is soldered, so this is solid. So now zone 3 and 4 are actually together. So what I'm going to do now is take my little grinder, and I'm right where the joint is there, I'm going to grind down and make a space. So then zone 3 will be separate, and zone 4 will be separate. This way, if there's any problems with, derailments or a problem, it's zoned off. It's not like I got the whole place, the whole platform goes down. Like there's my notes I didn't forget, so almost forgot. So I want to do them right now. Since I have all the feeders soldered, once I hook the feeders down below on the bus line, then this zone 4 will be live. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so there you are. So you can see, if you can see there, now there's a gap in there. so now they won't touch. And now the zones are separate now. Did that one and that one over there with my little grinder. All right, now I got to get everything set up to do underneath, so that'll take me a little bit, but hang in there. All right, so I got all the feeders wires soldered up. I hooked them all up underneath with the suitcase clamps, which I showed you that before, and I think you really want to see that again. So now what I want to do is I got to go around and put all the ties in, so I'll be ready for painting, and then we can do the ballast. So I got all my little ties I took off. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but you got those little spikes and the rail plates. So I just take a number 17 blade and just run it across and knock them off so we can slide it underneath the rail. Basically just something like this. And slide on there like that. Now one thing I like to do when I'm doing this is to check the track, the gauge, and make sure everything's okay. Because when you take these ties off, these rails are just flapping in the breeze. They can go anywhere. So I want to make sure they're in line. So we look like everything's good here. It'd be good if you had a steady hand. Alright, but you get the idea. We're going to finish this up. Go the way around this fourth zone, and then we'll do a final run of some trains and make sure everything's okay. So, see you in a little bit. Alright, so I had this last section to do. This is at up on the mountain part, the siding. So I finished gluing that in, put the road bed and everything on it, and I put the feeder lines. The problem with this is I don't want to drill it down through this because underneath there's the tunnel and I have the trains and so forth. So what I did is I just made some channels, drilled a hole, and put the wires, I can't get in there real good, right along in here. This way it'll be kind of protected. When I'm cleaning and so forth, I won't be able to hit them. And here they are down here. I just got to hook them to the bus line. That's the last thing I have to do. And then all the tractors down will have been, will be powered up. So I'm almost close, just about ready to try painting this track. I'm kind of been anxious on this. I want to get this before the weather gets bad, and I'm just don't know how it's going to work out. So we're getting there. All right, I got a major malfunction here. I wanted to run this locomotive one more time around the inner zone just to make sure everything was okay before I started priming, painting the track. Now, last time I used it, ran around great, stopped it, no problem. I went to fire it up, got nothing. No sound, no nothing. So I'm going to try to put it back to factory default settings and see if that does anything. I've had that work before on a couple other locomotives. So if I can remember how to do this, so I got it on my track here, it's also on my program track. So I'm switching this down to program. And see, hit menu, CV programmer, direct on track, okay. CV number 8. 8. Done. Okay, so I should be able to go to just back up the track power. And there it goes. I don't know what happens. Why something just sits and you have a problem. I can't understand this electronics. That was an easy fix. Yep. All right. All right, problem solved for now. I'm just going to leave it for that for now, then I'll go back later, try programming the numbering, and see if it works. But right now I just want to try running that inner zone so I can get ready to start painting. So, see what happens next. Alright, and here we are. See if it makes it around alright. I know the track is dirty. But he's doing pretty good. Alright, looks like we got a winner. Alright, that's going to do it for today. I got a lot done. So we got everything soldered, all the track, all the feeders, all hooked up. All the missing ties are in. Finished up that siding at the coal mine. Fixed the problem, well, somewhat of a problem with that one locomotive. At least I can run it, and we ran the train around the inner loop. So everything looks good. So please subscribe and hit the like button and leave any comments. I've started to get some comments, and really appreciate that. It's one of the big things that I started this channel, to be able to talk to other model railroaders. So the next stage is to paint the track, and we'll see where we go from there. So until the next time we meet.